All right, so welcome back. It's about 4 years later, and I'll give you some updates on the truck. I know I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and it's been great. I did make a few changes probably about 3 years ago. A couple things, if you remember from the last video, I had these two sides that came up high, kind of boxed it in, and uh, just eliminating those two sides really made this more open in here and a lot more usable for putting stuff in here and sleeping in here. I put a foam mattress on this side. It's about a 3 or 4 inch thick foam mattress and some blankets and a pillow. And then all my hunting gear goes in this side. Basically, I slide in my jet sled with all my hunting gear in it, and that goes in first. And then I have a nice refrigerator freezer, 12-volt style, that I plug into a plug right here, and that keeps all my stuff cold or frozen if I want it to. No problem, as long as I want to. I don't have to stop and get ice or run out of ice and then have to go find ice, because where I'm at, it could be an hour ride to go find ice, and I'm not gonna do all that. There's no reason to. Put the cooler freezer in there, and I'm good to go for whatever long I need to be. Um, the drawers are still the same. This is my countertop, cooktop. I can put my stove on here. I can prep my food on here, cook, and that comes off. That's just a sheet of aluminum I bought from the metal supplier, and I put in a sheet metal brake and just bent like 1 inch edges on each side of it. I made a little cutout here to fit the water jug in, so that stays there. It's solid. It doesn't move. Nothing moves. Nothing moves in here. This sits between the wheel wells tight. It sits against the back of the truck tight, and when I close the tailgate, it sits against there tight. Nothing moves. Nothing strapped down. It's just solid the way it is. This right here is where the water jug lives and stays. I can pull that out. It's got a little spout on it right here with the valve. You can open or close it to get your water out of it. And the cool thing about it, though, is it's got this big opening here that I sometimes use this on. This is just a little shower sprayer. Let's see, I got two of them in there. This little shower sprayer with a pump on it. I can drop the pump right into here and then use this to spray off if I just need to wash my hands or rinse off my dishes or something real quick and not use up too much water. That's really handy for that. And I do have a 12-volt hot water shower that I can mount outside. I usually just strap it around a tree, and I can hook that up to here and have unlimited hot showers too. I also have a little portable battery that I could use with that shower in case I'm too far from the truck to plug into the truck. I can go set it up in the camp wherever I'm at. And with my little portable one, I can easily get about 12 to 15 showers out of it. And that comes in real handy too. To some of you, you might think it's kind of weird to do all this because you just go to a campground and you just plug in and you got bathrooms and showers and everything you need, right? Well, I'm going on state game area hunting land in northern Michigan, and I don't know if you've ever been to those, but there are no places to plug in or take showers or any of that stuff. So I built this thing to be 100% self-sufficient. I could get off work on Friday, drive 4 hours up north, get this thing parked, jump in the back, go to sleep, get up early in the morning, and the minute I step out, I grab my stuff and I am in the woods hunting. I don't have to drive to a campground, go driving another 20-30 minutes to the state land area. I'm right at the area. I pull out my chairs at night, I have a little fire, I relax, cook some food, climb back into bed, go to sleep at night. I do have a heater in here, a diesel heater, which keeps it way warmer than it needs to be. Even on the lowest setting, it gets so hot in here, even when it's 0 degrees outside and it's freezing. I can get it so warm in here that I got to kick the blankets off and crack a window even. That's nice. I'll show you that. I've got different compartments built in here for stuff. I'll bring you a little bit closer and show you that. I've got some switches over here on the side that I added in. I can show you that too. Let's see, bring it closer. So we'll start right here first. So here I have this one that lifts off. And in here I put chainsaw bar oil, motor oils, things that I might need, a shovel, hammer, tie straps, bungee straps, ratchet straps. They all fit right in here. And I found out that when my freezer's sitting here, I always got to move the freezer over, and that always means moving everything else over. Try to get to the freezer to get to that stuff. So I eventually just cut a piece in here, which slides up, so I can reach in through this way also and get anything I need out of there. And then I kind of notch this and cut it to fit, and that locks right down in there. That's pretty handy, just to have that quick access spot right there. And oils and things like that, so if they leak, they just leak into the bed of the truck, and I don't really care too much, because if they leak into the drawers, then that's a different story. These drawers are full length. They're 6.5 feet long. They just pull right out. Nothing fancy. They just work. No rails to break or go bad or flex. They just come out. This is all heavy duty. It's 3/4 inch or 7/8 plywood, I forget now. It's all glued and screwed together. I've changed it around a few times and moved my drawers around. The nice thing about it is it's easy. I just unscrew the couple screws if I want, and I can move these forward, backward, anything I want, wherever I want to move them, however I want to configure it for whatever I'm carrying. I used to keep my stove in here and plates. This was all like my kitchen stuff here, so I could have that one open with my countertop cooking, and have this open, and I'd have spices and cook stuff in here, and utensils, spatulas and knives, all that stuff was all in here. The back, I had like first aid stuff. So this side, I kept a long one here, put fishing poles in there. Then that one, I could fit in a shotgun, 22. If I was turkey hunting or just whatever. And then the rest of it was knives and flashlights, headlights, different stuff for hunting, and that all fit in that one. Let me get you up inside and show you some more. Okay, so up inside, I don't know if I said it or not, but I put my freezer here, and this is the plug that I put in, and I made an adapter cable to plug from this into my freezer. That's a SAE universal cable connector. I can just plug into that, or I can use my 110 volt one if I ever have shore power, which is never. And over here on this side, here, let me get this set up a little better so we can see. Okay, there, that's good. So over here on this side, I have these little flip up ports, and these are for USB charging. It has a quick charge 3.0 and then the PD 3.0. Each of those, you can turn those off. This is the button here. If I push this one in, that energizes my 1200 watt inverter, and that powers up these 3 USB plugs and these 210 volt plugs that are wired in there. And here I have just another one of those SAE universal plugs, in case I want to put the cooler over here on this side. But it usually stays and lives on that side over there. So going in a little bit further, we'll look in this one. This here is another cubby hole storage. So on this side, I can fit more stuff in here. I fit a little 3-foot long shovel in here, and some ropes. And I have a folding saw that fits down in between here too. One of those Agua Boreal, whatever the heck saws they are. And then this also lifts up too right here, in case I needed to go in through that way. Don't mind the mess. It's been used pretty hard the last 3 years. It's about to all come apart because I'm redoing the whole thing, and I'm selling all of this. In the next drawer is where I control everything or monitor everything. Right here is, let's see, can you see that? 13.9 volts. Right now we're at 100 amp hour, fully charged. We're drawing 0.03 amps right now, which is like nothing. This was where I originally, get this thing straight here. So this was where I originally had to plug in all my USB stuff before I put the one at the back of the truck. I used to plug everything in here. I still do it at night when I'm laying in bed. I can plug stuff in down here. And then right here, I turn this on. Right here, this is the diesel heater thermostat. I also have the keychain one that I can use for turning it off and on. The battery's dead right now on that, so I'll turn it on this way. Just hold this down and it'll come on. And then I'll show you some more of that in a minute. This is my 1200 watt inverter. And over here, and back here in this corner is the heart of the whole thing. This is the 100 amp hour LifePo 4 battery. And this is so much better than the AGMs I had in here. The AGMs, you can only discharge 50%. This one, you can discharge it all the way and charge it back up again. So you get the full 100 amp hours out of it. This one actually has a little built-in heater, because you're not supposed to charge a LifePo 4 battery if it's below 32 degrees outside. In fact, there's a sensor inside it that cuts it off, won't even let it charge. And this right here is another little thermistor that plugs into my controller behind this panel, which is a double backup. It won't even try to charge it, and this won't even take a charge between the two of those things unless it's above 32 degrees. That just protects the battery to last forever. You can discharge the whole thing all the way down to 0. So if it's cold out, you can still use it till it gets to 0, but you just can't charge it until it's warmed up a little bit, which is not a big deal because the heater will kick in, it'll warm up. I can throw the diesel heater on, which is coming on right now. You might be able to hear that. And if I turn that on, it'll warm up in here, no problem, and charge it back up again. Once it's charged up, it'll last days. So the next thing, so right behind here is the whole lifeline of the whole system and how it works. Let me get you in here and I'll show you what I got. Just a basic down and dirty quick video. So this is my Renogy DC to DC charger. It also has MPPT, which basically all that means is that MPPT means it takes a solar charge, and the DC to DC means it charges off the vehicle's alternator. And it'll also, once it's 100% full, it'll reverse on its own and trickle charge the car battery so that you can never have a dead battery. I also have an isolator switch under the hood that I turn off if I'm going to be parked someplace for a few days, so I don't even drain or touch my vehicle's battery. It just does this, the battery back here, completely on its own. But if I didn't, this would keep my car battery charged anyways, truck battery. So back to the electronics here. This is a Bluetooth monitoring device. It monitors this, tells me how much solar power is coming in or how much power I'm getting from the alternator to this to charging it. It'll show the state of charge of the battery and different things, which is interesting. And then my solar power comes in through here. It goes through this relay, through this breaker, and into the panel. My alternator from the vehicle, from the truck vehicle, battery alternator system, I should say, comes in through this line and goes into here. And that's another breaker to kill that one. This is just a fuse panel with 5 circuits in it, just to power up the things inside the truck, including the diesel heater and the lights in the back and the plug for the freezer, and everything's protected. The only one thing that I did change, and it's a pretty cool thing if you want to learn this one, is that the one fault I have with the Renogy is it will always try to charge solar first no matter what. Even if it's just the slightest amount of solar power, it'll charge off solar first, which I can get 50 amps of juice shooting into this thing and charging up my stuff real quick from the alternator. Especially if I'm driving, say 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours to get to wherever I'm going. I want it to charge off of the alternator. Why wouldn't you? The alternator is going to charge this thing up way quicker than a little bit of solar is. If you're sitting in bright sunlight and it's optimal conditions and no trees and the panels are adjusted right, yeah, you'll get a lot of power. But driving down the expressway, no, I'll just take the power from the alternator. So I had to trick it into knowing that when the truck was running, charge off the alternator. When the truck's off, charge from the solar. And the way I did that was I had this relay in. It's a normally closed relay. So the solar power comes into it, goes out of it, goes through this, and goes into this all the time. There's a coil on here with a 12-volt setup that's powered by the ignition. So anytime I turn the key on and start the vehicle, it energizes this little coil, opens the relay, the power from the solar comes in, goes to here and stops. It can't go any further. This thing says, oh crap, there's no sun. I better start charging from the alternator. Charges from the alternator beautifully. When I turn the key off, this de-energizes this coil, these 2 wires, and then that in turn sends power back through here again, through here and into this, and it starts charging from the solar panels again. Pretty cool. If you want to know more about any of this stuff, you can message me, put it comments down below, and I'll check them and answer all of them. So let's get this heater back on again. I'll show you how this all works. Okay, so got the heater pressed back on, ready to go. Shows you, this right here shows you how much it's drawing. On startup, these heaters will draw a lot, but then after it gets started, they barely draw any power whatsoever, and they just sip diesel. So it's very economical and extremely good heat. So right now it's drawing 2 amps. As it gets going, it'll get up to, I think, 10 amps, 12 amps or something, just for the glow plug to ignite. And once that goes out, it drops back down to nothing. So I'll show you that. Right here on this side, that is my, the supply duct, the diffuser, the heat blows out of right here. And if I lift this up, you see the tube is attached underneath it. I can disconnect that like that. And right there is the duct for that. This is the diesel heater. I did have to drill a 3 or 4 inch hole through the bottom of the bed of the truck. Then I sealed it up with the plate and siliconed it all in tight. This side is where the air goes into it, goes across the heat exchanger and blows out this way. The heat exchanger itself has an exhaust and intake that go out the bottom of the truck. So it is legitimate like a house furnace. I also have a little LED controller down here that I can control. Little LED strip lights underneath the side to light up this side of the truck. So let me show you a little bit more about this heater, how that works. I'll go outside as it's kicking on right now. First of all, let me show you what I did here. So this is your normal fill for your gas. Pull in the gas station, fill that side, and then I can pull in on the other side and fill diesel on this side. This is an aftermarket gas cover cap. I cut a hole in the side of the bed and I mounted this in there. So this is a diesel fill tank. And that is just for the heater. So underneath, you can see here, that's where the exhaust is coming out of that diesel heater. That is hot. And up there is the bottom of the truck. That is the where I cut the hole through, siliconed it all. So you have the exhaust going out that way. And then that other little black tube goes up through the frame. Up there is the intake for that. And then the fuel pump is right there. And I welded up a plate that slips in the side of the bed there. There's a couple bolts here that hold that plate in on that side. And then it's anchored to the fender rod strut thing there on that side. And then that is ready to go anytime that I want. I can kick that on my way to wherever I'm staying. And it'll be warm in here when I stop. Or if I kick it on even afterwards, it's not a big deal because it doesn't take long for it to heat up in here at all. So let's see, what else? Up here, we have the two 100-watt solar panels. And my rack for my kayak or ladder stands. What else? Oh, I added a little camera on the back. Just drilled a hole through there and put that little camera up there and wired that in also. I put these couple lights, backup lights in the rear bumper. After 2 years, all the paint flaked off. I've got new ones to put on. They didn't last very long. Not the best quality ones. I don't know, what else is there? I think that's about it. If there's anything else you can think of, you have questions about, put them in the comments and I'll answer all of them. I added this little strut thing on the tailgate. It's just nice. It just doesn't let it slam, you know? Stops it. I think that's it. The heat's kicking out now. It's my old beater truck. She gets speed in the woods. Put some new headlights on it yesterday. Oh, this is the cap that's going to be going on it. I got to paint that black. But you can see it goes up right here about 4 inches taller. It's still sleek looking, smooth. I like that. I didn't like the other styles, and I didn't like the ones that are really tall either. So I got this one. It's dirty right now, but it's brand new, garage kept by an old man. So I got to get that painted. But that's going to go on here. This is all coming out. The only reason that I had all this set up in here, originally when I built all of this 4 years ago, I was going camping with my kids and friends and different people, and I wanted to make sure I had enough stuff in here so that nobody didn't have something. You know, extra tents, extra chairs, extra food, extra plates, extra utensils, 2 stoves, a lot of gear for everybody, just to make sure that everybody was good. Now, all these years later, it's just been me going by myself, and I don't need all of this. So I'm selling the drawers. They just slide right out. If somebody wants all these extra side pieces, well, they can have those too. Because I'm putting in a complete liner, a bed rug liner. I don't know if you're familiar with those. It looks like carpeting. It goes on all the sides, across the bottom, and the tailgate. But it's actually like a polypropylene or something thread, where it resists oil and anything. You can just hose it right out, clean it right up. And it's padded, and it fits in the ribs really good. Easy on the knees, crawling in and out. And then I'm just going to put like a bed on just one side or the other. I'm not sure yet. Probably on this side because I got to cover up the diesel heater. You know, I always slept on this side, but I don't want the diesel heater showing. So probably, and it'll work better because I'm going to put my electronics under here. I have 2 new 100 amp hour mini batteries. So I'm going to have 200 amp hour batteries under here. And they don't have a built-in heater. So if I put it on this side, I can run a duct out to heat the truck, and I can put one more duct just underneath to heat up inside of there. It'll keep my batteries warm for charging. And that'll work good. So yeah, I'm talking myself into it. I think I'm going to put the bed on this side, and I'm probably not going to have the drawers out the back, because now with it being just the floor on this side and a thing on this side, I can just flip it up and get everything I need out from inside it. I may just put a short drawer in the back just for stuff that I want to get to quickly. I don't know. We're going to figure that all out. I've been waiting for it to warm up a little bit. The snow's finally going away. It's March 27th now. I don't know what it is, 28th. And the snow's finally gone. It's just cold and wet. It's supposed to be 26 degrees tomorrow, Fahrenheit. It's going to be cold all next week again. But anyways, I got to sell this stuff and get it out of here. I got to cap paint it and put it on here, redo the whole inside. I got turkey season coming up here in a few weeks. And it's not going to be done in time, but I'm working on it. So, yep, that's about it. Thanks for all my rambling and watching for as long as you have, and I'll get back to building the new one. And when I do, hopefully it's not another 4 more years before I show you the updates on that. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.